Konami has announced that Metal Gear Solid 5 Ground Zeroes has shipped 1 million copies. The 1 million figure refers to how many physical copies were sent to retailers, not copies that are actually sold, and it doesn't take into account digital versions. For those reasons, it's unclear as to how many copies of Ground Zeroes were actually purchased.
Oh, Konami.
Yeah.
So adorable.
That's a great man. There's a lot of like there's the stat and then there's like 5 little things underneath it that are like,
Yeah.
well, not so much.
All these asterisks.
Yeah,
A
yeah.
double asterisk. This is totally an impressive figure, and maybe it is. Like, I don't know what Konami's expectations were, but it surprised me. I mean, I'm not a Metal Gear guy anymore. The series lost me with 2. You know, I liked Metal Gear Solid, the Metal Gear Solid 2. I'm like, this is too much for me to keep up
Peace
with.
Walker. Try Peace Walker.
And so, sure, Peace Walker is one I got to play. And so I just kind of write it off. Like, it's not very big in my mind, so I'm like, that must mean it's not very big in other people's minds, too. And then it was a reminder that, like, Metal Gear is a huge deal.
Yeah.
It's interesting, I think, around the office to be a I've been a Metal Gear fan my entire run at IGN, right? And a fanboy of it, in quotes, if you will, or whatever. Like a big guy, a guy who's like waving that Metal Gear flag.
Yeah.
But like for real, after Peace Walker and Revengeance, and like it's like Peace Walker was my peak, right? And then that was like my goodbye, I feel like, to the series, which I don't want it to be, but it was like all of a sudden I was like, all right, cool. And then like Revengeance, I didn't give a crap about.
What did you think of Ground Zeroes?
Yeah.
I was devastated that I did not love Ground Zeroes. Like,
really?
It looked like HD Peace Walker and it was doing all these things, and I was like, yes. And I sat down and played it that day, and it was so frustrating to get caught and get busted and be like back to like Ground Zero. And I understand there's stealth games, don't get me wrong, but up until that point, I think the way the games had been real, right, in quotes or whatever, it was way different. In Peace Walker, it was literally like, here's a small area. I quickly identified there's 3 or 4 guards. I can shoot them out. I can do this. I can take care of them, and they're done. And then like this one, it was just like, there's a million people there's so many people walking around, and they all have these like really like real. Now it's super real. Now they all have like binoculars and they can see you, and it's like that sucked a lot of the fun out of it. All of a sudden, it was like I had to sit there and like memorize everything.
I've been saying for a long time, I think I brought it up on GameScoop and Tech Fetish and other things, I've been noodling this feature for a long, long time about how stealth as a genre is kind of fundamentally broken. Mm-hmm. Because either the guards have to be, big, dumb idiots that patrol on these patterns, or they do act like people, and it's impossible because a human being wouldn't be able to outsmart, 5 or 10 people that are as smart as you are. Like, you would lose. You would lose every time. And it's really trial and error. Like, it never feels good to fail in a stealth game. Like, if I fail in, I don't know, like Resistance or something like that, it's like I reload and I, aim better and that sort of thing. But stealth... I don't know. I feel like that genre, someone needs to like reinvent the stealth genre.
I agree. It might be just that I'm in a different place now. You know what I mean? Of like, for greatest boss battles, right? I wrote about Solidus at the end of 2 and how I played through 2 all the times. I would have platinumed that game because I got all the dog tags, I'd done everything, I'd taken all the ghost pictures, all this different stuff, and that was when I could sit there and pour time into it. And like, Ground Zeroes, right? I'm playing, and it's like I took a day off to play video games, and I was playing it, and it was like I don't have the time to get committed to getting awesome at this game and memorizing the map and memorizing where people go and all that stuff. And it's like right there's like I can see that I'm never going to get to that point, so like it's not even fun trying to do it this little bit.
They need to find a way to make you feel like a badass in stealth games without it just being trial and error. Yeah. Without it feeling like Ocarina of Time trying to peek around the hedges with the guards. Like it's that, but in really crazy fancy HD graphics, kind of still, even Splinter Cell.
I think that the checkpoints are a big barrier too, because it's sort of like, all right, I have to get through this section. There's 7 guys, but I got caught on the 5th one. I have to go back to the first one again, kill him, hide his body, sneak around the car, go over here, go up to this hedge, kill the second guy, third guy, bust me, back to the start, kill the first guy, kill the like. There needs to be a way to make that so. And what I do is after the 5th or 6th time, I just go the hell with this, and I pull out the gun. I just shoot the first 5 guys, try to stealth kill the 6th and 7th, who totally would have heard this first 5 guys getting killed, by the way.
Right.
And then see if I can get through just to power through to the next.
That's
checkpoint.
like the big irony is once you fail a couple times, you end up being less and less stealthy.
Yeah.
Because you're losing your patience.
You're just trying to get through it, right? Like I can't. So many Ground Zeroes missions end with me like, I've got the objective. Fuck it. You know what I mean? Like fuck it. We are flooring it. I'm calling the helicopter over there. Let's just get there. You know what I mean? And then I'm hoping that it's like the little things will happen where like you'll run around this thing and they'll lose sight of you, or they can't get to where you are, and it's like good enough. Like you know what I mean?
Sure.
And I know we're all saying this. This is where we are in our lives. Obviously, there's plenty of viewers and listeners out there who are like, this is why I love stealth, and that's awesome. But like the kind of instantaneous reward I want, I guess. And
I think it's very telling that as we grew up and as we evolved as gamers and as the game industry evolved too, most of the stealth games, most of them, gave you that option to like, do you want to hide and sneak around, or do you want to just run through and kill everybody?
Right. Sure.
And I mean, there were different endings were branched for games like that. I mean, the way I play Splinter Cell now is completely different than the way I played Splinter Cell when I first started, which was like throw a can, have my little gun, and I shoot a bell, and then somebody's like, hey, what was that? And I stand behind a vending machine for 45 minutes. Now I'm just like calling a UAV and I'm throwing like smoke bombs, and there's like I take a guy and I shoot him in the head, and someone's like, who is that? And I'm like, oh, you let me see. It's great.
You'll never know.
It's not stealth anymore. It's not like the dumb glasses he wears mean nothing to me anymore. Like I'm just running out there in the dark with a gun, like, trying to shoot whoever.
I mean, like you click back and I think your point rings true, right? Of like the best stealth I've had recently, I would think, is probably Last of Us, and it's because those characters can't see; they can only hear. So you can freeze frame, you can do this, you can look through the walls. It's like that works. And then when it was now, I'm going against like other survivors, right? Those are some of the most annoying parts of the game.
They should make a Jurassic Park stealth game where you have to stand still so the T-Rex can't see you.
That's good.
Wow.
You listening, Telltale? If you still have that franchise.
See, that would be awesome. I don't want to ever see motion controls come back, but it would be really awesome if you just had to stand there with that shaking.
That's really clever.
And I was like, oh my god!
All right, stop talking about it now. Make it your $1 million.
All right.